And welcome everybody to another blockchaingaming.com news episode. I'm Alex, aka Doge Preacher, and I'm here with my friend Andrew, aka the Andrew Wagner, I believe.
Yeah, on Twitter. Hey guys.
Yeah, we got to get an intro that we use every time soon.
All right. Well,
Yeah, so let's just bust into it. We got a lot of topics to cover today.
okay. Yeah, the first one, we always cover our meetups, who we've been having over as guests and who we're going to do next. Last we did the Tap project. That was pretty cool. We played some games that are on the Tap platform
Oh yeah,
that you
it's nice to actually get to play the games like when we do our meetups because not every project is live. So
Yeah, in this case, they were all mobile games, so we had to hook up my phone to the projector, but it worked and it was, you can check it out. And I'm still playing one of the games, actually, the
no,
Panda Commander one. Uh, and I find it kind of interesting, the token economics of it, because they can't, because they want the in game money to be valuable, if you can convert it to tap coins, which are a cryptocurrency meant to be valuable, then they have to measure out carefully things like, for example, even at the end of the game, even once you've purchased all of the in-game upgrades, you still need coins to purchase bonuses like a little bomb or like bonuses you can use in game to enhance your gameplay.
yeah.
So that way you don't cease needing the coins once you're at the top of the game. Basically, late game content,
Oh,
if you know
nice.
what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise, you would have no need for the coins once you completed leveling up your getting all the upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of times early in the game's lifespan, they really just ignore the end game content, depending on the style of game, and you get this like rush trying. They try and get all the players, but then once the hardcores get to the end, they're like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Our next meetup is going to feature XAYA, so we're going to get some games running. We already demoed one. We'll talk about that later, but we've just been having trouble dealing with tech stuff at the space. We're probably going to post the event in the next couple days.
Yeah, it's the computer has been there a few years now, and it died kind of a couple times, and we like we got it going again, but we should have just taken it out and shot it and got a new one instead. So it's like we're kind of in the process of getting a new one together, but it's a community space that no one runs, so it's like hard to organize things.
It's
You
a
know?
long process.
Yeah, it's a process to get anything done. So we'll see how things go. It looks like within a couple of weeks, though, we should have a good machine up and running again. So the next thing you
Yeah.
put on our news list was this trusting trust.
Oh, yeah. So, as usual, I've been getting news bits to share from our Facebook group. So, if you post something interesting, you might show up in a news broadcast. Someone
Oh,
shared a neat
oh,
little crypto game.
sorry. I just no wait. Okay, I had to close that. It had sound.
Oh,
I just opened it up. I was gonna play it while we were going, but it was really loud. I did.
cryptogame.ml.
Yeah, yeah. Is it based off the game of trust, right? Is it like where you have to choose what your character will do based on what the other one does?
I didn't try it actually, did you?
Yeah, I think I've played it before. It looked really a game of trust. So it's like you basically have to determine like um, two. There's like a button, and if you both hit the button, you both get like $3. But if one of you hits the button, then that person gets $1 and the other person gets nothing. And then like if neither of you hit the button, so the idea is like, do you
So,
cooperate
like a
with your
prison
opponent?
experiment.
Yeah, it's like I think it's one of those like, do you cooperate or not? There's like and it looked like the same intro, and I believe it was called the Game of
Huh,
Trust. It's worth
that's
doing the little tutorial and going through it, and like it's a really interesting because like the industry we work in is very trust based, or the concept of removing trust, and this gives some really good examples of why, like basically the ways trust can be used, like as a cooperative or a negative thing. Yeah, it was a fun little thing, but it had really loud noise, and I wasn't about to subject our
yeah.
viewers to that.
Our the smart contract for our blockchain weddings that Witek wrote actually operates on the same principle. It's a prisoner's dilemma function
Yeah, it's
where Yeah, if one of us hits divorce, we can get 10% of the money he put in. But if we can just wait it out, we'll each get 50%.
Yeah, like the long-term marriage. All right, what's this next one you got up here? It was looking actually pretty cool. Sandbox.
Sandbox?
I've been playing Minecraft with my kids this morning, so this looks very familiar to me right now.
Oh, yeah, it looks similar.
He
And you can
literally just
tell
walked
they're,
out of the end portal or the nether portal or one of the portals.
yeah, you can tell they've drawn some inspiration from there, as have a lot of blockchain gaming projects. Um, but I think their intent to be more open-ended, you know? I mean, I guess Minecraft is pretty open-ended with the
Oh, is this
servers online.
CryptoVoxels?
Yeah,
Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, I have this tab. I have a CryptoVoxels tab open on my phone, and I keep not looking into it more. It's yeah, okay. It's like a 3D world that's like user owned, right?
yeah, so I guess that would make them like a Decentraland competitor.
Yeah, that's exactly why I have the tab open. So just as a
Hmm.
side note, it's not really part of the news anymore. Is there was just a big Decentraland hackathon. So anyone, it's over now. It was like they had a quarter mil prize, which is really good, and it was a really deep prize pool. So the top 20 people got paid, and anyone who did a qualifying scene still got like a little bit. So it was like a really good. They raised a lot of money, and they're clearly giving a bunch of it out. So this is one of their competitors, though, for sure. And this is apparently the closest one is CryptoVoxels, and there's a few others apparently that I hadn't heard of. I found a list somewhere, but apparently this is like the number two
Hmm.
to Decentraland. And Decentraland just being the first mover advantage, they did a big raise, so they've got a lot of staying power for now. I'm hoping they're successful because I actually tried to participate in the hackathon. I didn't end up finishing my thing, but it was pretty cool to play around with it, and it wasn't that difficult to build stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, there's been all kinds of cool projects I've been seeing posted to our community channels lately. Another fun new one is called Nine Chronicles,
Nine
which
Chronicles.
is basically more people are catching on to the decentralized MMO concept, where they're trying to make a completely blockchain-based game that doesn't require a server to operate. Um, I looked up. They want to run it based on their own platform. It's called Planetarian.
Okay.
Uh, and I can't see much technical information about it. I mean, one thing they claim that there could be no transaction fees, and my understanding, based on uh, experience and history in this space, is that no transaction fees is typically achieved via centralization or
Or,
trustedness
or someone
or
else
something
paying.
like that.
Yeah. And the best case of
Yeah,
that is someone else just pays them for you, but that doesn't scale.
but I do like the look of the game they're talking about.
Yeah, it
With
looks
the
like they should already have some stuff out. It says they had dungeons and crafting and trading and strategy already, and just the battle system's not out yet. Yeah.
well, I haven't tried the game, or I don't know if you can. I don't think you can yet.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
look like it, but I'm trying. I'm clicking everywhere I can right now.
good on you. But yeah, I like the artwork, and I like this type of game in general. So I've been waiting for more games of that sort.
Yeah. Oh, the planetarium. LibPlanet is a blockchain core powering fully decentralized serverless P2P games. Yeah, okay, so that's the LibPlanet engine. So is this on its own chain then? It seems.
Yeah,
Well, it's still pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people like it's funny how the phases go. Like we had like all these ETH games, and then it became side chain. Everyone racing to build a different side chain and put their game on that. And now we have like even Dapper Labs. I don't know if you put that anywhere in the news, but they're building their own blockchain too.
I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah, like they're like, okay, Ethereum doesn't scale, so we're not going to put time into an open source project. We're going to build our own closed source blockchain. Oh,
um,
that's how it goes though.
yeah. There's another new project trying to make a decentralized game as well. Although this one would be web operated, so to some degree, there's a website, there's a server, but I guess they're trying to put as much of the game on chain as possible. It's called Delight,
Oh,
and
okay.
they posted a pre-registration link to our Facebook page. or
Oh,
group.
okay. We'll link this definitely in the description below. It's always fun to get in the early drops of the games. It looks like it'll be playable pretty soon. Oh, October 7th, which is 2 days from now. So if anyone's watching this early on, yeah, now is the time. It looks like you just
Hmm.
create a seed and just create a seed for whatever chain this is on. Looks like it's also on its own chain, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't check. The Delight, you mean?
Yeah, it says you got to go pre-register with your email and create a seed. Oh no, oh it's an Ethereum wallet. Okay.
Yeah, that was what I assumed for some reason. Um, and to be honest, that assumption is usually correct still these days.
Yeah, yeah, for now. I mean, we'll see. It's ETH's in a weird place. Yeah, I guess worth mentioning. I was at the Ethereum Classic Summit for the last couple of days, so that was pretty good. That was in town. There was a lot of ETH people there too, so it's all kind of a lot of crossover. But
Hmm.
yeah, everyone was on their way to DevCon, which is starting in any day now.
Well,
It's in Japan, and they have the real Doge. Like they got the real Doge to come to DevCon.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because the real Doge is getting pretty old.
Let's see. There's one more game I saw people talking about on Facebook. It's Splinterlands.
Splinterlands, is that
Looks
huh?
like another card game.
I don't
Um,
think I think I missed a link for that one. I have Ebicus.
oh, I added it recently, I guess.
Oh,
But
okay. We'll come back to that one when I find the link.
mhm. So another card game. They've been doing beta pack giveaway thing via the eGamers guys.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, interesting. There's also been some games people have been talking about on our Reddit. Uh, One I found called Ekabus,
Ekabus. Yeah, okay. This is one I have open
or
right now.
Ebicus, sorry.
Abacus.
Ebicus.
Abacus. Like abacus, but abacus, maybe?
Yeah. Uh, and this seems to be also, again, targeting dApps. Uh, Not gaming specifically in theory, but in reality, we can see that games are coming to be the first movers for dApps
Yeah,
and centralized
I think
applications.
that trend will continue for sure because it's like the most useful thing. Gamers are always willing to learn where buttons are and learn how things work for the sake of the game. So I think it's like for adoption wise, like games are what's going to get people probably using this stuff.
Yeah, you can see they're clearly marketing it that way when you look at the
Yeah, it's all about the
images.
onboarding flow, which is really actually like one of the hardest part, like onboarding people to your DApp. They're like, it's like, oh, by the way, if you want to play this, you got to get some Ethereum, then you got to lock it in this contract and like get some wrapped Ethereum, and then you got to like put it on a side chain. You know, it's like a lot to it, right?
On their own blockchain. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So this one's another one with their own chain.
Yeah, you can see there's more people trying to get involved with this pure decentralization concept, which we'll talk about more at the end of the broadcast.
Yeah, because it really comes down to like it's fast blocks, not decent. So these guys have 1 second blocks and free transactions, and they say whatever 1,000 transactions per second. That doesn't really matter that much, but like they say 1 second blocks, and it's like okay, well what's the back end look like? How many nodes are there? Like it can't be that decentralized, if it's see if it
Mm.
just feels like it can't be that decentralized when you make it so fast, and games need to be fast. So like instead of people trying to create newer games all the time, it's like how do we make a faster system? I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's always a trade-off.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I really hope the industry grows in the way that favors more blockchain based and less of what we are used to already, and new types of games more start emerging.
yeah, and then a couple other. Ultra Infinity. That was on Reddit. We've been seeing another couple contributors posting links, and one of them is the guy is starting a blockchain gaming platform. Looks like I've been seeing postings lately where people say they're looking for employees or co-founders for projects,
Yeah.
and this seems like a nascent project like that's looking for a place in the community. There's I think I'm seeing basically increased job opportunities and more startups like this coming
Yeah,
and posting and announcing we exist, team is forming, which is good and healthy for the industry. Um, and then we have also seen someone's been sharing more of these podcasts by Kenn Bosak. That guy's pretty funny. I
oh,
like him.
Bozak's great. Yeah, actually, this I'm wearing right now. This wristband. I don't think you can see it, Andrew, but the Don't Trust Verify Bitcoin one. That is Bozak put that on me at the last Bitcoin conference I saw him at. He's awesome. Yeah, he came to Dogecoin and he'll be at the next one too.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
good man.
he has been talking a lot about blockchain games on his podcast, and I've been seeing a couple of his videos shared here and there on social media. So might be fun to watch a couple of them. I put a link up in the news if you can find it.
Yeah, he's been doing a podcast for a while, so he's pretty good at it too. And he's definitely Mr. Card Gamer. Like I know that I've seen a couple of his videos where he covered games a little while ago, so I'm glad to hear he's still covering that stuff.
Speaking of which, there was some other card games in the news, and games in general we've been seeing getting more investment backing from major players in media, which has been a vote of confidence for the blockchain gaming concept and industry. One was CryptoKitties.
Yeah, this is the Forbes link you sent. That's the one about they're launching their own blockchain.
Yeah, and they're doing it with backing from a branch of the Warner company, Warner Music. And, it kind of seems like, I wonder whose idea the new chain was. Maybe it was an investor's idea, and that's why they're using this new chain.
Oh, they want to cash in, bro. It's obvious. You know how much money you get when you start your own successful chain and give yourself all the tokens and
Well, I
control the
don't know what their
consensus?
distribution plan is
Dude, they're
personally.
gonna keep it all, man. They're a giant company who's like, come on, they're a giant company. They're gonna keep it all. Don't give me
Well,
that.
what do you think of
They don't
the
even,
other one?
CryptoKitties isn't even open source, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, why would
Well,
they be? I don't know. It feels like I don't want to pre-hate, but I don't know. They're just a big company, so I expect them to do big company things. And a lot of people, I guess, get the wrong impression of them that they're like these are like random up and comers who like made a cool game, but it was like a company sending people to a hackathon, and the company sent the team and paid them to be there, and they built something cool, which it was, and it was like changed the landscape. But I still expect them to do more like company things. So I don't think they've contributed to any ETH development or sidechain development or platform development. They mainly just have worked on their own stuff, and now they're building their own chain. So I'm always skeptical, as you know, of anyone who's building
that
their own
you
chain.
are.
You got it, dude. The whole thing is like we've had years of this where people just make a new chain and then give themselves all the tokens, and then like it's not actually designed that well, and the incentives aren't there because they already have all the tokens, and then yeah, things get wasted, people's time.
Well, what do you think of the Gods Unchained one? They've got.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think
Okay.
they're making their own chain. I don't
No, they're
think.
doing it on ETH. I don't know how they're doing it, but those, okay, like for the record, that team taught me that you don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to do it. Because those guys released Etherbots, it was not successful. The game didn't work. And then I say this as a guy who has so many Gods Unchained cards. Don't get me wrong, and I play the beta, but like like they didn't know what they were doing in Etherbots, and they rushed through it just to get it out fast, and then they like touted it as a success, kinda. All the original players know that it like didn't work. It was gas inefficient and could never scale. They put too much on chain, and then they built this game, and they did a lot better. But they got a lot of investment because they have a team together who is willing to like keep going and learning. So like even in Etherbots, like the upgrades to the contract were like so good, like in comparison to what they first had, they started saving saving gas and making it more sustainable. But same thing, and like with Gods Unchained, they took big steps like around like respecting gas costs, so it would be like way better for players. But like they didn't know what they were doing at first, and they just dove in. So like if people are like on the fence, like and have the experience with this stuff, like people should just start building. You will like look there
Um,
a year later, look how much investment they're getting, right? They're
I
getting
think the real reason, well, just to point out, $15 million, pretty decent. But what I think impressed the investor in this case, it's one of the majority investors in Tencent. So this is a connected person who's done this.
Uh,
But I think what's attracted him to back Gods Unchained was the revenue reports.
yeah, they're still
They
selling
noted
packs, but the game was supposed to launch almost over like a year ago, straight up like beta.
all this investor cares is that it has revenue. He's looking at numbers,
Yep,
and in this case, Gods Unchained had what's it say? It says 4.5 million in revenue in just over a year.
yep, and they've been selling packs and telling people the game's gonna launch any day now.
One item sold for $62,000.
Yeah, but that's I always am skeptical about that. Just like the $100,000 crypto kitty, you just can use your own ether to do that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then pump it up and get in the news. And
Well, it
there
convinced
was
this
also an
guy.
item. You also got an item if you bid on that. So everyone was just bidding back and forth. But fun story that launched at the same time as a FUMO 3D contract, that auction. So I was super indisposed and couldn't get the card you got for bidding on it. Yeah, like as much as I'm always skeptical of these teams and blah blah blah. Like Gods Unchained I've probably spent like 2 or 3 ether on packs over time. Mostly because I
Hmm.
expected the game to come out soon, like they said it was, and then they would just not. But the beta's been up live for like 4 or 5 months, and instead of rushing, they're like constantly applying balance changes and like really, they're doing it right, which I'd always rather have.
I think it's a good example of proper use of the fundraising mechanics and benefits of blockchain for gaming,
Yeah, I don't think they've
where
spent any of the ether yet.
as you've called it before, selling JPEGs,
Yeah,
or was there, uh, I forget what your
yeah,
term was it,
initial
but
JPEG offering.
Niffle JPEG offering. But my point is, I guess from this big investor's point of view, when he hears you can sell JPEGs and he sees lots of money with little infrastructure or input cost required to do it, that's probably first off, that was a good revenue generating mechanic for Gods Unchained in the first place. But second off, it impressed institutional investors who wanted to catch those same easy money in their opinion.
Yeah,
And I don't know if that's necessarily speaking volumes about the gameplay or the game, but it's showing great business benefits
I'll
for
also
doing it.
say that the quality of Gods Unchained versus the quality of your average blockchain game is not on the same level. It's like much more represents like a traditional real game that happens to
Mm,
have ownership. Like you could take the blockchain aspect out and just have it as a card game, and it would still kind of like it would work, which is I think a good thing because it shows like it wouldn't seem like a janky game that we're only playing because it's got a blockchain involved. It's like a game that people I could realistically see like card game people liking it, not just because like we like it because like oh we're gonna give it a try, we're gonna give extra love to it because it's a blockchain game, and
yeah, I know what you
we're
mean.
thirsty, right? But it's definitely like not on the same level as most of the other blockchain games that are like clearly much more indie projects, I'd call them.
Mm.
But yeah, one day they'll come up with the full game, and I will play in the tournament that was scheduled to start January of this year.
I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
in
there
you.
was a tournament and everything that was planned. It's too funny.
Another news item. I'm going to nerd out for a bit. Basically, they're talking about proof of mastery concept by the TAP project, and
Okay.
basically, I just like talking about proof of terms, proof of existence, proof of stake, proof of work.
Yeah.
I find them neat. Now, proof of mastery is not a block solving protocol, so you're not forming consensus. Because recall, tap coins are on Ethereum. So they are merely about control of distribution of new tap coins. Previously, they had been using their own kind of virtual staking protocol, wherein new tap coins would be distributed to holders of Tapcoin. Now they're adding a twist called proof of mastery, wherein in order to get new tap coins, you must have played games and converted in-game currency to tap coins,
Okay.
or played on Steam and done you can log Steam achievements on
Oh
tap.
yeah, that was the coolest thing about the Tap project from their from the meetup we did is that they made it so you can log your Steam achievements to kind of give you like, oh, you've got all these achievements, you know, and it's not too much that it like makes it broken, but it's enough that like you get some cool advantages like for having previous achievements to like encourage people to come over. And it's very similar to the concept of shared items between games, you know? It's very similar to that where you're like, oh, you can come to our game, check it out because you have that cool sword, it'll work over here too. In the same way, it's like, oh, you got all those Steam achievements? Well, you'll get a little boost if you start over this way. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and basically now your Steam achievements would be incentivized by the ability to increase your mining rewards through proof of mastery. So you want to play and you want to get your achievements logged on the platform.
That's cool.
Um, and we had a lot of tournaments and competitions. There always are. I'll just run through them real quick.
Yeah, Crypto Wars. That's the one I brought up a couple times. Thanks for linking it. It's definitely they do them like I think every week or every 2 weeks. Like they're quite often. So
Yeah.
and they're definitely worth knowing. So there's usually only between like yeah, check it out. There's a 400 player one going on right now, and then there's a couple 100 to 200 ones starting soon. So maybe plan out when they start. It's nice to get these things like day of. You got to start day of to have a chance. But like yeah, definitely check out cryptowars.jp, and they've been running these for a few months now. And yeah, they're always giving out a few $100 in Dai and some ETH and stuff like that. So yeah.
And Ryan's tournament just ended, I believe, but they had almost $10,000 worth of prizes that you could prospect or
Oh,
mine
okay, that's big. It
on their
ends in
world.
2 weeks, or ends in a week and a half, October 15th.
I think they may have run out of prizes already, maybe the
Oh,
thing.
that would
I'm
that's
not sure, but
that
I saw a
happens.
note on their Twitter page that it was a smashing success, which seems to imply that it's kind of over. Um, but yeah, I tried it. Izaku tried it, our colleague. Um, it looked like a neat demonstration of the XAYA platform, which we'll go into in a little bit. It's also always lots of giveaways via the egamers.io team. Saw one about Snail Trails. It's a cute
10
little game.
10,000 strong.
Um,
That's too nice. Get a snail trail to play. Yeah, I haven't seen that game before. Yeah, I've noticed that gamers for a while have been doing a lot of partnerships with up and coming games. Like mutually beneficial stuff for them and whatever game they're partnering with. But I've noticed they do that. Like they usually have like one or two going on at all times, or like you can just enter to win or do tweets or something. So yeah, definitely like check them out often, and you'll probably end up with some free digital swag, whatever you want to call it.
this game looks kind of cute. So you breed and train your snails. You can watch them like run their little race. Pretty standard. Sounds like an NFC type of game.
Snail races, that's too funny because they're slow.
And our buddy Dan Pittman of Hash Kings, is giving away Keef tokens.
Keef tokens, yes, I have clicked on the page and saw a giant person smoking a weird bong or something.
Keef tokens.
Keef tokens. I'm trying to. Okay, it wants me to log in my Steam account, and until that, it's not going to stop showing me this person smoking, so I'm just going to close that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they do exactly. I just saw him talking about it on social media, and now his website's already changed. And I'm trying to see more information on here about the tokens themselves.
Yeah, I think you gotta be logged into Steam or something. That's one. I never got into any Steam games. I almost went over for Steam Monsters or whatever, the card game, but I never got into any Steam games. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, I just haven't found time to get into Steam either. But if you do, check out Hash Kings. Get some Keef tokens.
The Uptrend, TRENND. Wow. Uptrend.com with 2 N's.
Yeah, it seems like some kind of Reddit
It,
replacement.
it feels like a scam because it's misspelled, right? You know how you like misspell a word and then like fish people who like
Yeah.
type in the wrong thing? Like Uptrend with 2 N's. That's not how you spell trend, right? I'm not crazy here?
No, that's not how you spell trend.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm just making sure,
Or
like,
not. I mean, I'm not saying you're not crazy, but I'm just
oh, okay.
confirming that you can spell.
I see how it is. So what are these guys are doing a big giveaway too? Use.
Yep, looks like it. NFT giveaways.
Oh, I think you just got to scan this thing.
That's always common.
Oh, okay, so it's on Engine, probably. I'm assuming you scan that with an Engine wallet.
Hard to tell. I just saw it posted to one of our pages, and it didn't explain much, which is a good note to you guys who are posting news to our pages. Explaining with a well-written, concise comment, instead of just sharing the link, can make it easier for us to know what's going on. But yeah,
Apparently,
we also. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to open my Engine wallet. Apparently, I don't know my password.
Oh. Oh yeah, I can't see your screen, so I wasn't sure what you were doing.
Yeah, so sorry, Engine. If that is in fact an Engine thing, I won't be able to tell you. The problem, you see, Engine does it lets you use a word as a password, whereas most blockchain different various wallets always make you use a number pin. So I don't know when I made that wallet or what I would have put in. I'd have to find my thing somewhere. So whatever Engine I have in there is trapped for now.
Well, we're running out of news items. So we can mention for anyone who hasn't noticed by now that we've been doing a lot of content about the XAYA platform lately. Always got to pronounce it correctly. And we constructed a lot of articles, some pages. You can see we have a featured page. So if you click on the featured page, you can see quick facts about the platform, what features it has, a quick list of articles and videos talking about it, stuff like that.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff on the platform already.
Yeah, and then we ourselves, we've done a couple content pieces about XAYA. I did a pretty long and in-depth article. I mean, it was like 2,500 words.
Oh, geez.
At least.
Yeah, we did a gameplay too of XAYA ships.
Yeah, and so we had we did a video demo, and I did a detailed article talking about how the platform really works, technically speaking, and what its history is, and stuff like that. So definitely, if you want a crash course and to know everything there is to know about XAYA platform, check out the article and check out our demo video if you want to see what it looks like. It's a cool, basically fully decentralized gaming platform. So any of the other things it can do, true ownership, it can do cryptocurrencies in games, but its focus is on being able to eliminate the need for a central server when playing online.
That's a good goal. That is
I
a
think
good
so
goal.
too.
Yeah, ditching servers as like the base meta goal is really powerful.
I wrote a few articles while I was at it, just defining some terms and vocabulary in the blockchain gaming space, especially when I was writing the XAYA article, I noted that some of the terms I was using are less talked about. Like everyone knows true ownership by now because it's been made famous by CryptoKitties, by Engine. Some of these concepts took some digging and explaining. Like provable fairness has been around for a while. I talked about that one, which is the idea of proving that no one cheated in a game or making it impossible by doing things like using the blockchain to provide randomness. Like maybe use a recent block hash as the input in a random number generator, stuff like that. And I went into stuff like artificial intelligence in games, defined decentralized online games, and those concepts kind of come together. When you're building a decentralized online game, AI bots are the key problem. People will build bots to try to take over your decentralized world. And likewise, you want to be able to know how to build bots in the world to provide NPCs and other interactivity for the players. So I talked a lot about that, and especially the concept of the decentralized Turing test, how to sort out how to have AI in a game only when we want it. Um, and a couple other concepts I covered, like sharding. If you've heard about that from Ethereum scalability talks, it's the idea that the blockchain is split into pieces with some redundant information spread out across the network, so that instead of everyone having a whole copy of the chain, we each have shards of it. In gaming, this could be really great for scalability, especially for online games, decentralized MMOs, I mean.
Everyone
But
gets
really,
their own shard.
yeah, like each game can have its own shard, or a platform like Engine could have its own shard. Uh, in XAYA, they would do sharding for an MMO, like if you recall playing World of Warcraft, where you cross from one zone to another, there's a short loading period. In that game, it's because you don't have the whole game world in your computer's local memory at once, just a small piece of it. Kind of like a shard could work the same way, right? You only need to see the stuff immediately around you in your local area that you're interacting with.
Yeah.
Unless you like connect to an auction house or something, that would probably have its own kind of shard.
Auction house shard.
And then I talked about fog of war, another concept, which is sometimes we don't want everyone to see the whole blockchain, because if we were playing a strategy game, that could give away your plan, right?
Yeah, immediately. As soon as you put in the transaction to build a certain item, it's clear that your strategy is something, so you can counter it.
Yeah, or just like in a game like StarCraft, how could you Zerg rush me when I can see the whole map? And then I'll see you coming, right?
Yeah.
So we need to play a way of obfuscating the map at key moments. And I think sharding is a good potential strategy. The other option, obviously, is like dark coin strategies like Monero.
Yeah, just straight up anonymous.
Yeah, that might be interesting as well, like a true fog of war in a game. And I also talked a bit about human mining, which is, in the larger sense, the concept of just earning stuff in games by playing them. You can do that in Engine, you can do that in XAYA, you can do that in any game where you can get in-game assets through play.
Yeah.
But in more detail, there's concepts like proof of mastery can go under that umbrella, what we just talked about on tap earlier. And proof of play is an interesting one. Proof of play is a subsect of human mining, wherein you actually confirm transactions and blocks.
Oh, while you're playing.
You form consensus, which is super interesting. Like MotoCoin did that. But again, without the ability to prevent artificial intelligence, humans could not compete. MotoCoin was conquered by bots.
Immediately?
And,
or what? Did it happen like immediately? They're like, we launched this game, it's awesome, and then the bots just run it?
Not that very second, but pretty quickly, yeah.
Yeah, figures.
And then what they had to do was they had to publicly release a developer approved bot, so that, right, because if only one person had the bot, he could 51% attack the network by winning every time, and therefore mining the block multiple times in a row. So instead, they couldn't figure out how to keep AI from playing. They have no decentralized Turing test.
Yeah.
However, so what they did instead was give the bot to everyone. So even if one guy is playing really good with his bot, the other bots are playing bot level as well.
That's too funny.
Yeah, we really need to figure out the AI problem. It's been my
decentralized identity. That's like one of the gold mines.
Ideally, there would be a way of doing it that could be trustless in a way that doesn't require you necessarily to reveal your real world identity.
Yeah, that's the goal, but it's how? It's like
very hard.
Yeah, it's one of the unsolved problems. Yeah, some sort of identity where you can prove you're a person, but and maintain your identity throughout different parts of the system without revealing your real identity.
Yeah.
Good luck,
I
everybody,
mean,
on figuring that one out.
I don't know how many gamers consider that. I mean, huge. I think there are anonymous gaming accounts out there where you play as X, and you're well known in the world of Warcraft as X, but no one knows who X is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We have common gamer tags, even you know gamer tags who use it for multiple games, where no one knows the actual legal name of that person. Um, and
Somebody
ideally,
knows. Somebody knows. The guy who pays.
okay, yeah,
People
someone
know.
knows. Microsoft knows if it's
Microsoft
Xbox
knows.
Live.
Yeah, or like Blizzard knows if it's World of Warcraft. Not
Yeah,
necessarily though. I guess you can just pay with cards and stuff. But in this case, we need to prevent the bots. Is the goal of making sure it's a real person, right? As opposed to the bots have to pay.
yeah,
The bots have to pay in those cases. So like people running bots on World of Warcraft, I don't think they really care because every bot is like a subscriber.
yeah. They definitely have mixed incentives, but they can't let bots get too powerful and have to run in the game. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a balance they have to achieve for their own well-being.
And then every
And
time they ban the bots have to buy new accounts.
yeah, there's that as well, right? So I don't think they have too much disincentive to get rid of bots. I
Yeah.
think they try. It's just, it can be, we could use a captcha system, for example, but would you want to do the captcha test every 15 minutes while gameplay? I mean,
No.
no,
No, I
because
would not. And you can just
it,
farm those out so that every time you get one, it just goes to some screen in China and it's like a few cents. There's like
yeah, you could.
no, yeah, we used to do that in Pokemon Go. The guy who ran the scanner that would scan for the rare Pokemon, his accounts would just get constantly flagged, and they would just send the captcha to like a thing, and it charges you a few cents, and it's done within like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite some time before someone figures out how to decentralize the Turing test in practice for gaming. Uh, but one day,
One
I
day.
look forward to it.
Yeah. So do you want to maybe announce our next meetup, or did you already do that? I think we said the 17th.
Yep, we're gonna meet on the 17th and show off some of the XAYA stuff we've been talking about. Open some game channels, play some. I mean, I guess we'll all be in the same room, but I could get some people online to join us for a game of XAYA ships.
Yeah, that'd be cool to play it against someone who's not there. A little team game, us versus them.
Yeah, basically. And we can show off the whole game channel concept. We talked about it a bit in the demo. I tried to explain what's happening under the hood as it was happening. But if you all come out on the 17th, we'll show you in person on the big screen.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, they're always really fun, and it's a cool place. A lot of good people coming through to nerd out about crypto and Bitcoin stuff. So if you're in Vancouver, if you're ever coming through Vancouver, come check us out.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for our news broadcast. We had a lot of stuff to
Yeah,
cover
there's a
this
lot of
time.
topics today, so maybe a little
Yeah.
long. So goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, Andrew. I'll see you in within the next couple days or couple weeks. You know how it goes. And thanks
Yeah.
everyone for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Super important.
Yeah. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys in a couple
All
weeks.
right. Have a good one, Andrew.